Right now, we want to get to the mayor of West Haven, Ed O'Brien, who's joining us on the phone because, again, this is happening at the University of New Haven, but it's also happening in the West Haven community, certainly. Mayor, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
What can you tell us about what's happening right now, what West Haven police are doing, how West Haven is working with the University of New Haven to make sure everyone knows what's going on and is staying safe right now?
Right now, I believe UNH is still on shelter in place. They have other jurisdictions coming in, other police departments coming in, working with them. They're making sure everything at UNH is safe. I know the shelter in place for Notre Dame High School and the West Haven school system has been lifted, and dismissal will be as usual on time. But as far as I know, that's all I know. I think they have one confirmed suspect, and they're doing their sweep as we speak.
Mayor O'Brien, we do understand that there is one suspect in custody. Are you aware of whether that suspect had a handgun or had a rifle, as was reported?
I believe he did have a rifle.
He did. And do we know
there were weapons.
Do we know if he's affiliated with the university?
I do not know that.
This is a good example of kind of the relationship that a city has to have with a university. What can you tell us about the coordination that's going on with your police department and the university as far as everyone working together and getting on the same page here?
Right, absolutely. I think this is an example of a good relationship. There are procedures in place when there's an incident like this. You know, God forbid there is any instance like this, where they do coordinate through the West Haven Police Department, the UNH Police Department, and surrounding state police and other municipalities. So there are procedures in place for these kind of incidents.
Mayor O'Brien, I just want to confirm, you said that the suspect that is in custody did have a rifle on him.
From what I understand, they have recovered some weapons.
And police are now doing a methodical search of the campus. We understand they're going building to building. That's what a spokesperson for the University of New Haven has told us. Is that because they perhaps think there might be another suspect out there?
I can't answer that. I think that it's prudent to go through and check and make sure that there's no threats out there. But I can't confirm or not confirm if there's another suspect.
Certainly there are going to be parents in West Haven who have kids in those schools that were, whether it was a lockdown or a shelter in place or whatever the terminology is at Kerrigan and Forest. What would you say to parents in terms of how the school system handled what was going on at UNH right now?
I think the superintendent and the school system did an excellent job. I think that their first thought is to keep those children safe. I think the shelter in place was appropriately put in and lifted at the appropriate time, and all children were safe.
And again, those kids
continue to be safe throughout this.
And those kids are going to get home, go on the bus as usual. Everything is going to be as scheduled this afternoon.
From what I understand, it's as scheduled this afternoon.
And what do you want residents to know? As we've been mentioning, there's a ShopRite right there. There are other restaurants. Do you want residents to stay away from this area right now?
I think at this time, the residents should stay away from that area. Let the law enforcement do their job and give them space and room to do that. And at this time, it would be best, I think, if we leave that area freed up for them to traverse through that area.
And I see there's some FBI agents there as well, so you must be working with them too?
Yes, yes.
Once again, law enforcement, and we've used the word several times, swarming into action in a situation like this. The report of somebody with a gun at the ShopRite nearby the UNH campus in West Haven, and then perhaps moving towards the campus. Campus went into a shelter in place. Local schools also went into a shelter in place. But again, right now, someone is in custody. The Mayor, Ed O'Brien, telling us that a gun also recovered, but the police continue their search, again, continue to work with the FBI, at least, and other agencies, as this situation still is happening right now in West Haven.